Hello, welcome to Astronautics for Exploit. This is Dr. Ayushola Ogundele. Space and off-Earth migration to interplanetary space for the expansion of humankind ecological range and actualization of human space settlement. The focus points are as follows: space migration, space human colonies, the high frontier space migration concept, and Giraoni Salindo for space migrants and settlement. For many centuries, humanity has endeared herself to the universe and is curious to sojourn and emigrate to space and unexplored territories. Various space migrants, habitation concepts, and space communities have been proposed. Space migration, the process of moving human beings and their belongings to space or another planet, is an inevitable future trend that will play a significant role in humanizing and exploring space. According to Buckminster Fuller, whether it is to be Utopia or Oblivion will be a touch and go relay race right up to the final moment. Humanity is in final exam as to whether or not it qualifies for continuance in the universe. For possible human emigration to space, various proponents came up with different ideas of space settlements and their locations on the Moon, Mars, or their orbits. In 1929, Amand Norden proposed a large wheel-shaped satellite for the space migrants similar to the space station concept in the movie 2001, A Space Odyssey, a 1968 epic science fiction film inspired by Arthur Clarke's 1951 short story, The Sentinel, that depicted spaceflight, pioneering special effects, and ambiguous imagery. In 1950s, Wernher von Braun, the most famous rocket engineer of the 20th century, developed a space station concept for a refueling stop on the way to the Moon. In 1976, Giraoni, a proponent of large-scale emigration to space and the huge orbiting community as a means of salvation for Earth, in his book titled The High Frontier, Human Colony in Space, developed the technical and cultural dimensions of space colonization. Furthermore, he supported the ideal of expanding humankind's ecological range to include the orbital space and the Earth. There are only envisioned plans for autonomous encapsulated ecosystems, each a mile in diameter, and housing communities from 1,000 to 50,000 inhabitants. Space migration. Space migration, the process of moving human beings and their belongings to space, is an inevitable future trend and is receiving high attention as at present. The space migration aim is for actualization of future outer space human civilization. Actors' concept of an international space station orbiting Mars is shown in this picture. A primary argument calling for space migration is the long-term survival of human civilization and terrestrial life. By developing alternative locations off Earth, the planet species, including humans, could live on in the event of natural or human-made disasters on our own planet. Concept art for SpaceX Mars Orbital Station for possible destination of space migrants is shown in this picture. Space human colonies. Space colony is the concept of permanent autonomous human habitation of locations outside the Earth. It is a major theme in science fiction as well as a long-term goal of various national space programs. Space colonies have been proposed to be located on the Moon, Mars, or their orbits. Lockheed Martin's Mars Base Camp concept is shown in this picture. Planetary colonization advocates for the following potential locations: Mars, Mercury, Venus, and gas giants. The Moon, Europa, Phobos, and Damon and Titan are the proposed locations, and proposed free space locations are Earth orbit, Lagrange points, and asteroid locations are near-Earth asteroids and mid-belt asteroids. Artist's concept of SpaceX Big Falcon ship docking to Lunar Orbital Platform Gateway is shown in this picture. Essential things such as air, water, food, and destination of weight all have to be provided to the space colony and the space migrants. Engineering criteria to assure physiological safety and comfort are essential, but equally important is to provide for physiological and aesthetic needs of the colonies. Artist's concept of Lunar Orbital Platform Gateway is shown in this picture. The High Frontier Space Migration Concept. In the 1970s, Garaoni, in his book titled The High Frontier, challenged the wisdom of limits to growth. We described the possibility of exponential economic and population growth with finite supply of resources, studied by Cambodo Simple Nation. The limit of growth study used the World 3 computing model to simulate the consequence of interactions between the Earth and human systems. Artist's concept of a pair of owning cylinders proposed for space migrant is shown in this picture. The purpose of limits of growth are to gain insights into the limits of our world system and the constraints it puts on human numbers and activity. Identify and study the dominant elements and their interactions that influence the long-term behavior of world systems to warn of the likely outcome of contemporary economic and industrial policies with a view to influencing changes to sustainable lifestyle. Artist's concept of space colonization for space migrants is shown in this picture. In the High Frontier, Oni mapped out a strategic and realizable path to putting humans into space permanently and sustainably. Oni's idea was about a drive to place a human on the moon and beyond. It entails an inexhaustible energy supply, solar power in space, and endless room to expand. With a von Braun space station in orbit is shown in this picture. Honey in his proposal envisioned large human-occupied habitats in the Earth-Moon system, especially near stable Lagrangian points. Three designs were proposed: Island 1, Island 2, and Island 3. The proposed designs are to be constructed using raw materials from the lunar surface, launched into space using the Mars driver and from near-Earth asteroids. Artist's impression of Blue Reading orbital service spacecraft is shown in this picture. In only space migration concept, habitats were to spin for simulated gravity and be illuminated and powered by the sun. Solar power satellites were proposed as a possible industry to support the habitats. Many of these concepts illustrated in the High Frontier by Oni, they were shown in the early series of the anime franchise. The picture here shows another depiction of a space station habitat wheel. There are Oni cylinder for space migrants and settlement. An Oni cylinder is a space settlement concept proposed by Oni in his 1976 book, The High Frontier, Human Colonies in Space. He proposed the colonization of space for the 21st century using materials extracted from the moon and later from the asteroids. The picture here shows artist's concept of interior view of an Oni cylinder. An Oni cylinder consists of two counter-rotating cylinders. The cylinders are designed to rotate in opposite direction to cancel any gyroscopic effect. Each will be 5 miles in diameter and 20 miles long. Artist's concept of a Stanford torus interior for space migration is shown in this picture. Only the cylindrical design configuration includes a living quarter in the cylinder, artificial gravity provision, atmosphere and radiation, sunlight, and altitude control. Oni stated that life on board an Oni cylinder would be better than some places on Earth. Artist's concept of the air glow above the horizon is shown in this picture. The inhabitants in the cylinder will keep themselves active and entertained by practicing current art sports such as skiing, sailing, and mountain climbing, which will be made possible by the artificially generated gravity due to the cylinder's rotation. Artificial gravity, the creation of an inertial force that mimics the effects of a gravitational force, usually by rotation, will be created by the cylinders. Langley's Mars Ice Dome, designed from 2016 for a Mars base using frozen water to enhance protection, is shown in this picture. The habitat was planned to have oxygen at partial pressures, roughly similar to terrestrial air. Large mirrors are hinged at the back of each type of window. Artist rendering of a human habitat on the moon is shown in this picture. The habitat and its mirrors must be perpetually aimed at the sun in order to collect solar energy and light the habitat's interior. Using attitude control mechanisms, the pair of habitats can be rolled by operating the cylinder's out momentum wheels. Solar eclipse inside an Ornate cylinder is shown in this picture. For more information, contact Astronautics for Exploits. You've been watching and listening to Space and Off-Earth Migration to Interplanetary Space. For the expansion of humankind ecological range and actualization of human space settlements, presented by Dr. Ayenshola Ogundele, with the focus points space migration, space human colonies, the high frontier space migration concept, and Gerard Olnick Cylinder for space migrants and settlement. Thank you.